Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jasson. Thank you for being with us. Springtime, summertime's right around the corner. We're just glad to be up and running again for several months now. We've been back full go, and it's nice to have all the businesses, the nonprofits, all the things that are going on in Lancaster, Fairfield County, all the concerts, all the festival, the fair. Everything looks like everything is back full go, so we're very excited about that. It's fun talking about the events as they come back, and everything is now so well attended because folks are really ready to go out and get back to what their life was pre-COVID, so we're very excited about that. One of the real treasures I think we have here in Lancaster is Maywood Mission down on South Broad Street. It's one of the I think great places in Lancaster in terms of a nonprofit, in terms of helping the community. We have several Lutheran Social Services, the Red Cross. There are lots of good places in town, but one of them I know is a good place is Maywood Mission. It's a pleasure to have with me the Executive Director of Maywood Mission, Jonathan Hanks. Jonathan, how are you?
Good morning, Paul. I'm doing well.
Good to have you up here today. Maywood Mission is weathered COVID.
Yes.
Were there moments when could have been a close call either way? Probably. I mean, so I talked to everybody that I have on, and it was in many cases a struggle for that year and a half, however long it was, and a lot of it hit some harder than others, but it hit everybody, and I'm sure you're no different.
Yeah, we're just glad to be on the other side of it, like everybody else, and to have weathered it. So we're ready to talk about summer. Summer camp and all of that.
And that's really we have lots of things to talk about with Maywood Mission because they're involved in so many things in the community, but I really wanted to hit the summer camp that's coming up here later this month. The end of May is coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, summer camp is, as far as I can recall, been going on for almost 50 years. And it's looked forward to by both parents, kids, and staff. So when it comes to summer, you have the school age are out, and parents still have jobs and need a safe place for the children to spend the summer. And we've always enjoyed that being at Maywood Mission and providing the activities and the safety and the security and even the spiritual influence, the weekly chapel at it. And so everybody just begins to look forward and build up to this. The teachers are plotting out their course for summer, choosing their activities.
I'm sure they look forward to it. Just something different from them. It's just not the same day after day stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it does for them.
So it's exciting time. You got a lot of campers this year?
We're over 20 now, and I think we're going to try to get to about 35.
So you're still taking applications?
Yeah, we're still taking applications.
They call your agency down there. What's the number?
The number is 740-907-3201.
Is there, and I know you have things online where you can read about it. Your website's very beneficial, very interactive. You can look that up. Everything's on there.
Yep, maywoodmission.org, and you can donate to the summer camp as well that way.
So, and I'm sure with this, you have to gear up on staff. You bring people on just for this event, right?
Yes. We have, we'll pull from schools, from colleges where students are needing some credit hours plus a summer job. So we'll do that. And then you just have some people who are just wanting to do a 3-month stint. And it allows them to get out there and play with the kids, do some sports. Visit some of the local parks, the zoo. We're still debating the zoo this year.
Sure.
But it's one of them where we've done in the past, and we may have the zoo come to us, do the petting
and they
zoo.
do that. They're very good in outreach. We've had them here, and we get pets in here, and the young people that they bring down are always so good with the animals, and the kids just go crazy over the animals. That's really a high moment for them.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So what are some of the things they do at summer camp?
So we'll get a lot of swimming passes. That's that's what kids would want to do every day if you let them. So we'll go to the pool.
Is that Miller or Tiki?
Miller and Tiki.
Okay.
So we'll get a bunch of passes, and then we'll just kind of watch the weather. And so we have to kind of modify a little bit based on the weather and try to go 1 to 2 times, and we'll take one of our 2 buses for each age group, try to split them up by age.
And the ages are?
And the ages are 12. No, it's kindergarten going into first up to 6th grade.
Okay. So really elementary.
Elementary,
well,
yes.
At least when I was in school, that was called elementary.
I think it still
is. Up to
is.
the 6th grade. And I would plug, if you get to go, try to use Miller Pool. Now, I understand Mike Tharp has some things. In the last year, they've had some things with lifeguards, and, it was COVID-related. And I know Miller wasn't able to be open the whole time, but assuming they can get lifeguards, and you never know as we head into summer. But I'd encourage you to use Miller Pool. I'm a West Side kid. That was the pool I grew up with. It was the only pool in town when I was growing up, so I'm a big somebody that likes Miller Pool. So use that when you get the camp kids there.
To us,
and it's beautiful over there anymore. The things
Yeah.
they've done, the way they filled the pads out, and they got the nice stuff right there.
Yep.
So it sounds like you're really back to normal here at Maywood Mission.
I would say we're back to normal, and how good is that to say,
Yeah.
And, I drove here, and there were snow showers on. But
It's unbelievable,
we're going,
isn't it?
We're
Yeah.
going. That's why I like to talk about summer.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
So Maywood Mission, they do so many things down there. I know they have free clinics down there. You've got the regular daycare, which this sort of evolves from that, the daycare, and you move into the summer camp during those months, or during that time in the summer, late May and early into June. The thrift store it's amazing when you go down there. It is. In the last couple of years, the turnaround there in terms of at least what you see, the image that you see now, boy, that's a wonderful place down there.
Yeah, and we are up to over 100 transactions a day, which means not transactions, but people coming through there.
Sure.
And being able to learn about the needs and provide people a place of dignity to get high quality items. Dignity is a significant word for Maywood Mission. There are people who just don't want to ask because sometimes, and if you can just provide a sense of dignity, it just makes it a little easier for a person going through a rough time.
And one thing I didn't mention then, but is a big part of what you do, the Food Pantry down there. That is a large part of the day-to-day operation at Maywood Mission.
Yes, and right now it's just, I don't want to say off the chart, that's probably, but it's higher than I've seen in my time, the number of requests. So you can tell the inflation is taking its toll, the gas prices, and some of the government funding ending. So we're doing over 30 boxes a day now.
Really?
And so, yeah, I think we're going to see that continue too, because I don't think it's going to slow down much. So we haven't had to do a big food drive for about a year and a half because Mid-Ohio and the government had supplied so much, but we're at the point where we're going to really start needing donations, both
That's
financial.
the food bank out of Columbus, Mid-Ohio.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They're the big
Mid-Ohio
provider, a large portion of
Yes,
what you get
they're
is
wonderful.
from them. And I was going to say, like you mentioned the reasons, COVID's ending, but things are still, inflation is very high right now. I'm sure people with the cost of gas, they have to spend whatever dollars they have. Some people have to, you have to make tough decisions, and sometimes that's difficult. And so maybe that is a time when these food banks are just so important in the community.
Absolutely. And food prices itself is going up. And so it really is. It's tightening on everybody. And when you're that close, it only takes one or two little crises to
A small event could be a crisis.
Yes.
And for yours down there, yours comes from 211. Is that still the clearinghouse for the to get your name in the mix?
80% is 211. The other is really any agency can directly refer to us. What we're doing is trying to set up agencies or individuals who are in the community and know the story and can refer to us. So we'll really take any agency giving us a good referral.
Sure. We've got Jonathan Hanks. Jonathan is the executive director of Maywood Mission. And we started out by talking about the cams, and then talked about some other free clinic still going on down there.
Yes, Tuesday.
Going strong.
I think some of what's going on is the new clinic that's being brought over to South School.
Yes.
Some of that's kind of evening out there.
Sure.
But they are open just like clockwork.
Sure.
Tuesdays.
Well, I guess just like food pantries, there's a lot of food pantries that some people, it's more convenient some days to go someplace or someplace else, and so there's always room for more of these clinics around here. There's truly a need for that. But we began really by talking about the summer camp. That's pretty exciting after last year with the things that went on that. Coming up the end of this month, people can still sign up for that.
Yes.
And that is just by calling down there or getting online.
Getting online, filling out the form, and it doesn't take long.
I think, it's just really one of the great organizations in town. When I tell people say, well, where can I get this, or where can I donate? You take donations at the thrift stop.
Absolutely.
Still down there.
Yes,
and,
every day.
And if that's something you want to see, like where would I want to donate an item, I'd encourage you to get down to the thrift shop. What's the address down there?
1029
South Broad Street. You'll see it when you get down there. The Mission is kind of in the back there a little bit, but the thrift stop is thrift store is right there up front. Encourage you to get down, look it over, and see. I think if you think you want to make a donation, want to help out some folks in town, that's a good place to go. So
absolutely,
it's really done a great job down there. So. Good luck on summer camp.
Thank you,
I don't know if you'd be pulling your hair out in June. And be careful what you wish for, I guess,
Yeah, we'll get a little wet and have some fun.
That's it. Enjoy the swimming time out there.
Yep, sounds good.
Jonathan Hanks with Maywood Mission, one of the, again, real fine agencies in town, 1029 South Broad Street down there. Go online, maywoodmission.org, or you can just put in your search engine Maywood Mission. You can find everything you need to know about that. So, John, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back on Fairfield Today in just a moment.
The Lancaster Festival returns for its 38th season, July 21st through the 30th. This year, we proudly present Rick Springfield on July 23rd and Lady A on July 30th. Reserve seating and general admission tickets are available at lancasterfestival.org, by phone at 740-687-4808, or at the box office located at 117 West Wheeling Street in Lancaster. For the full lineup, visit lancasterfestival.org.
Fairfield Medical goes the extra mile to give attention to their patients, to their guests, anybody that comes within those doors.
There's no question that the staff there are all personally invested in seeing that I got the best care possible.
The staff was so comforting. I felt like she was in the best hands.
They basically gave me a second chance at life, and I'm going to make the most of it.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Pleasure to be with you. And again, downtown at Fairfield Federal, it's getting to be summertime. I know everybody's getting geared up here. You see the staff running around. They're pretty busy. A lot of home loans, a lot of things going on with financial institutions. Certainly Fairfield Federal is someplace you want to consider that. Fairfield Federal online, you can look them up. Everything, very interactive website. You can see everything they got there. Rates, where all their branches are, the hours that they're open, the folks you can talk to. You can call up here and actually talk to somebody on the phone. So financial needs, fairfieldfederal.com is a good place to go. Certainly one of the highlights of anybody's life is when they've gone through their work part of life and they get ready to go into that retirement segment. And we've got one of those gentlemen with us today that's getting ready to fade away into the sunset. And that would be our current fire chief, Dave Ward.
Hi, Paul.
Retirement?
I know.
How can that be? A young man like yourself?
I know. It's amazing how quick it's gone.
I'm sure that's how it's looked for you. You've been the chief for 10, 11 years?
Almost 11, so 10 and a half years.
Okay, and on the force,
32 and almost 33 years.
33 years. Started out as a fireman, medic?
1989, I started off as a firefighter, went through firefighter school, then became a EMT basic, and then right into medic school, and did my medic thing, and then for a few years became a lieutenant.
I bet in the course of those 33 years, as you look back, boy, the changes have probably been astronomical.
They really are. On the EMS side, I remember several runs. We had universal precautions, but you never wore face mask. And the things we did back then, I remember we had a bad accident on Allen Street and Sheridan Drive, and we're getting ready to crike her, cut a hole in her throat, and I had my mask on, and then one of my coworkers was like, you know what, let's try that. And so we criked her, tubed her through the throat, and got to the hospital, and we held up our mask, and it was speckled with blood. And it's like we would have never, it was just getting into that stage where you want to protect yourself, right? Now, AIDS had been around for a while, but the things we do now are just light years from even what we did 32 years, 33 years
Certainly
ago.
the changes in the last couple of years have been, certainly you never thought you would see that as a chief, the way things have had to go
COVID
with
and the hands-off type of deal, and never would have guessed it.
So pretty much that COVID thing from the fire department, is that pretty much in the past?
To be perfectly honest with you, Paul, we dealt with that every day, multiple times a day, and I never really required the guys to wear the mask 24 hours a day. It's just too much.
Sure.
So when we went out on the runs, and we still do, we put on a mask, we wear our stuff, but it's pretty much in the past. All of our guys that wanted the vaccine got it and have been boosted maybe once or twice. It's going to be around forever, I think, so we just deal with it.
One of the things I ask most of the folks that I have in, when you look at COVID, they had to make so many changes, whether you have an agency like you have, or you have a nonprofit, or you're a business, everybody had to make changes that because of the COVID. Now they're out of it. But did you find out that there are some things you did due to the COVID that you find out still work now, or maybe a better way than you did it before?
From an efficiency point of view, I think the meetings, doing Zoom meetings, where we would always be traveling to another county or whatever. Now you just pop it up on Zoom, and you don't
Everything
have to
was
go away.
in person there, but now sometimes not so much.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I still like to get involved with people and see people, but
sure.
But that was one thing. But
So you look back over these years, and let's just talk about your chief years now, the past 10, 11 years on that. Anything that sticks out to you that you're really pleased with, something you were able to push through or get accomplished?
You know what? When I look back, when I first made chief, we were going through some serious economic times. We had just laid off 13 firefighters. We didn't replace 11 through attrition. We had a fire station closed. Our budget was cut from 1 year in 11 to 12. It was cut like $1.6 million. And I inherited all of that in January of 2012. And to look through that, it was almost overwhelming. I remember Mayor Smith pulling me in the office, says, "You want to be the chief?" I'm like, who would want to be the chief, Mayor? This is going to be tough. And but you know what? I'm very proud of the fact that for 8 or 9 years, until we just passed this levy a year and a half ago or so, we did more and more and more with less and less. And the credit goes to the firefighters. Those guys just stepped up to the plate. They did their job. They didn't complain about it. We never missed a run. We saved people. We put fires out. Now, some of the things that we couldn't get to, like maybe fire prevention or whatever, but we got the job done until we got that levy passed. And it took us 9 years to get that levy passed. Credit goes to Mayor Scheffler for actually pushing that levy forward. And that's a big deal. When I look back in that years, the cities are rated by the Insurance Service Office. It's called an ISO rating. And we actually, during this period, this last decade, raised our ISO rating. So your insurances are based off of an ISO rating. We have a 2 here in Lancaster. We have a really good 2 now. It was not as good before, but we were able to, even with less people and less money and more runs, we were able to improve our ISO rating. So that was another thing that when you look back, you think, it looked like a big bite. Like, how do you eat all this at one time? But little nibbles, and we got the job done. I look at our capital assets, our fire trucks. We were getting 20, 25 years on our trucks. Now we sit with 3 basically brand new fire trucks. That cost all 3 of those were probably $550,000.
Holy cow.
We've got 5 brand new medics, 3 in service, and we got 2 on order, and those are each $320,000. We have new jaws of life. Our facilities are in good shape. There's a lot of things when you really put pen to paper that we were able to accomplish, and you remember the tough times, with personnel issues and things like that. But when you look at it, I'm pleased with what we have accomplished.
Over the years when I've had you on, one of the things I think we've almost always talked about, and you've mentioned it a couple of times just in your little talk there, was staffing.
Yes.
That's always an issue. It always has been, and probably it always will be with the conditions in the country these days. Pretty much up to, because I know once the levy passed, everything was, we're going to do a big hiring thing. You guys pretty up there now?
We are getting there. We're at 76 right now, soon to be 77. Our goal is 84. We've got 3 people retiring here next month in June 3rd. So we're going to be down a little bit. It's going to be a constant ebb and flow, I think, for a while, but we're getting there. We hired 16 last year. We've probably hired 8 or 9 or 10 this year, with the ultimate goal of being 84. One thing that I was very pleased with, we've been able to maintain 3-man medics, 3-person medics. That was a big deal, and especially with tough times and no money, I was pleased that the safety director allowed me to continue that 3-man staffing. That is very important. I think when you go down to less than 2-man medics, the quality's not there. Yeah. You have to run a fire truck behind that medic just to have the staffing on board to do a code. So with a 3-man person, 3-man medic, I don't have to run an engine right behind him. Our staffing is still, we have 16 people on staff every day. That's contractual. There's a time when the city would like to have gotten rid of it. I'm glad they didn't. It takes people to do the job. You can water it down, but you don't get the job done. Sure. And then it becomes a safety factor. So through that tenure, we stuck to our guns. We kept with 3-person medics, and we have engines on the road, and we didn't miss a beat.
Well, the times we've been on, and certainly, I think everybody thinks that you guys do a great job in the city. I think people are pleased with how things are going. I know they've seen tough times. They've seen you come back from tough times, and now you're, maybe stronger than you have been in a long time. If you could wave a magic wand now and you were the king of the city and money was no object, what are some things you'd like to see done maybe in the future?
I think we're on our way. I think we really need to look at a new fire station.
Well, that's been the chatter for a long time.
It has, and I can't take the wind out of somebody else's sails, but I think we're really close to making an announcement here within the next few months. Ooh. And I think it's going to be exciting for the West Side. I'll leave it at that. Okay. But
I'm a West Sider. I'm all about that.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be some good news. And Chief Maffin is he's going to be the next chief.
Okay.
I think he will be more than ready to tackle that project.
Well, that's I'm sure you think now as you leave, you've left it better than when you arrived. Obviously, with the things were kind of going down then, it's much better now, and so he's going to be taking over, I would imagine, in a much better situation than you took over 10, 11 years ago.
I had a great boss. Steve Sells laid a great foundation, and I like to think that I laid the next layer on. And yes, I think Steve will have his legacy to leave, and he'll do a great job. So, when I took over, there was absolutely no money. Yeah. And now we have, not that we're flush with cash, we're still very frugal, but you can do some things. You can do some training. You can send people off and get some education. You can get some things done.
Well, and you can tell by the fact that levy passed last time, people were confident that you're doing the right job.
Yes, you're right.
With the funds. We'll give you that money because we know you're going to do the right thing with it.
Right.
And you always have tried to do that.
Yeah, transparency. We try to be honest with the people. So.
And again, equipment's in good shape now. You got some good trucks, and you're up to speed on all that.
We just got we really survived for the last 15, 20 years on grants, federal government grants.
Sure.
But now we've got some money in the fire impact account that we can buy turnout gear or air packs or whatever. So we're in good shape. Very good shape.
Got about a month from today almost that you'll be retiring. It's hard to believe. A month. Short timer. Chief Dave Ward.
I don't like being a short timer. Somebody said, well, did you ever think about going to Columbus? And Paul, I'm from Fairfield County, was born and bred out in Amanda, and I've lived here all my life, go to church at Maple Street. And I loved knowing people when you go on medic runs, helping the people. When you go to Kroger's, you see people you know. This is home. Yep. And I'm going to miss the smells at the firehouse and the feeling of the firehouse. It's time. Everything now is automated, and I'm not that great at the computers and stuff. It's passed me up a little bit.
Got any big plans that things you want to do? You and your wife going to travel some? You got some ideas you'd like to?
Yeah, I would like to go a little bit more to Europe if it settles down. We just came back from Ireland. Had never been to Europe. We got grandkids, 4 grandkids, and we want to do some traveling over to see them. And I don't know what I do. I still hope to get up in the morning and go to the Y or to Olivedale, wherever it might be, and work out. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the job terribly.
Well, at your age, you better start doing this stuff now. You don't know how much time you have at your age. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Paul.
Just saying.
I know 47's not that old. That's a
Dave
lie.
Ward going to retire here in a month as our fire chief, and I can say it's been a good run with you. I've enjoyed our time together, being able to come on anytime I've asked you to come on, and you've always been open with your time here, and very fortunate with that. So I hope I have as good a relationship with the new guy as he comes on. So gosh, Dave, best of luck in the retirement. A month away, and short-timer Dave Ward, no longer the chief in a month. Good luck.
Thank you. I valued your friendship and letting me be on here to get the message out.
It's always good. You've done a great job for the city. Thank you for what you've done.
I hope I have, and thank you for that.
Yeah. Chief Dave Ward, outgoing retiree soon for the Lancaster Fire Department. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.